I am Debby Schlesinger-Hellman. I am the co-founder of the Art and Science of Joy and the Year of Joy. Our whole mission, along with my partner, Andrew Cannon, is to find a way to spread joy across the globe and help each other build that joy muscle that we so are in need of, especially in these times. There's so much we can do to build our joy. And we have been so fortunate enough to have a number of experts. Heidi is our expert today. I'll tell you a little bit about her in a moment. And these are experts in different areas of what you need to build your joy muscle. There are just so many areas that help you become joyful. And to give you some examples and some ideas, if you have a good muscle on empathy, that will help you be more joyful. If you practice gratitude, you are often more joyful. We have come up with a recipe. There are 4 core elements: well-being, belonging, positive impact, and fun. And within them, there are ingredients that help you become joyful. If you aren't already a member of the Year of Joy, we urge you to join us, because it is a free community platform where you have access to so much. You have access to people like Heidi, who are giving their educating us, giving us information, giving us tools, tips on how to become more joyful. We have a chat forum where people are talking to each other, talking to the experts like Heidi, asking questions, learning. We have podcasts on there. There are resources of books to read. So it's just a wonderful platform that only has an upside to it, frankly. It's all for free. Everyone, Heidi included, and all the other experts are doing this also for free, so that we are all spreading joy. And if every one of us touches 1 or 2 other people, in a matter of, a very short time, we've touched millions of people, and everyone's a little more joyful. In the chat box, I believe, on the very first.
Oh, and I also just added it.
Heidi has put the link. If you haven't already joined, you can click on that link to join. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, as you got the invitation from me for this event. So with that said, let me introduce our speaker today. Heidi Smith is a best-selling author, transformation guide speaker, and Accelerated Evolution Academy master coach and trainer. With a deep passion for guiding her clients towards a natural state of joy, Smith's approach is to make room for joy by helping others let go of limiting beliefs and intense emotions that hold them back from embracing their true selves. I feel like we all need that. Smith's guidance has inspired individuals to achieve remarkable breakthroughs in their personal and professional lives. She offers a collaborative and empowering experience to help clients navigate demanding situations, gain insights, develop a resilient mindset, and expand their consciousness. Her best-selling book, Making Friends with the Boogeyman, I highly recommend, is packed with her powerful insights and practical strategies for navigating difficult emotions and life challenges, and we all have those. Drawing on her own history with extreme experiences, anxiety, and addiction, Smith offers readers candid stories and empowering tools to reclaim their personal power and create an extraordinary life full of abundance, peace, love, and joy. And we'd like to welcome Heidi.
Yay! Thank you so much for inviting me, Debbie. I was so thrilled to find out about your the Art and Science of Joy and a Year of Joy project, because the more we focus, whatever we focus on expands in our life. That's one of the universal laws. And so by you bringing joy into people's inboxes with this membership site, it's giving them more time to consider joy, more time to think, oh, well, what can I do to bring more joy into my life, to make it a priority, which is such a gift to all of us. So thank you so much, Debbie and Andrew, who is not with us today. And thank you all for joining us, making time in your busy day. So we're going to do just a bit of conversation to start here, and then I'm going to lead you through a practice to open up a positive character trait in yourself, to awaken a new side of yourself. So that's going to be a verbally guided practice that we're going to do. So our plan is to finish within the hour. So the actual practice itself will be probably about 30 minutes from me starting to explain it until completing it. So that's what's going to unfold for us today. So have a pen and paper with you. I always recommend having a glass of water. Important to stay hydrated. And, you know, as we're on Zoom, I mean, we spend a lot of time on Zoom, feel free to look away from the screen, you know, because just doing that every once in a while during your meetings really helps with the Zoom fatigue. You know, feel free to stretch if you need to get up at any point, you know, because again, a lot of us are on Zoom all day. So that's the housekeeping that we'll start with.
Well, thank you, Heidi. I'd love to start the conversation, if that's okay with you, by asking you a couple questions so we all get to know a little bit about you. I gave a brief bio of you, but of course that doesn't really tell the story. Like, how did you get interested in this, and what made you go into this piece of a professional career?
Yes, great question. Thank you. So I am a firm believer that we all come into the world as joyful beings. And I think we share that belief, Debbie. And then life happens and we have different experiences that can be challenging. And so I had some very challenging experiences early on in my life. And so what happened is that, you know, covered up my joy. Basically, these experiences I took on, you know, overpowering, challenging emotions and locked those away because that was my coping mechanism back then. And, you know, started creating survival behaviors because of the experiences and these negative limiting beliefs. And so that all basically piled up on top of my joy, on top of the light that I am. And so this happens to us in our lives. And from an early age, you know, I was drawn to find ways to get back to the light, to get back to the joy. And I started doing workshops. My first Gestalt workshop was an evening workshop when I was 15 years old. And my first 5-day personal development seminar, I was 19 years old. And all along the way, reading different books and meeting different people, looking for ways to connect with this light and this joy, to feel more joy. And so what I was doing is I was looking for the solution, and I wasn't addressing the struggle, right? I had these struggles. I had all these experiences from my past that needed to be addressed. So in my business, I tell people that I make room for joy. And the way that I do that is I help them move through these difficult experiences and challenging emotions so that they can learn the lessons from these experiences. And then those negative or limiting beliefs, once they've had the opportunity to be experienced and expressed, the energy that we've been using to hold on and push down those emotions and experiences then releases, and we have more room for joy. And so when I was 50 years old, that's when I found this modality that I use, accelerated evolution. And it is what I'm going to share with you today is an accelerated evolution practice. And I fell in love with these practices because they brought me to myself. And they were experiential, which is a really important part of learning for me. I learn a lot more from having an experience, from having a conversation. I can forget what I learned when I read a book, but when I have an experience and an insight from that experience, then it's part of my DNA and I never forget it. And it carries with me. I carry it with me in my life going forward. And so all of a sudden I was inspired to share this with others. As you know, so many people in our Joy community, the experts, are sharing what they know, like, because it is the human experience that once we know something that can help others, we want to share it, right, Debbie?
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. I think the spreading and sharing of what you learn, what you have uncovered that works, and you get super excited. And I love that comment about, when you experience it, it becomes part of you as opposed to when you just read it. And, I could even relate to that in school. I would not necessarily remember everything I read, and you needed to do that for a test down the road. But if I actually had a hands-on experience, I could still talk about it, some 50, 60 years later. So I love that. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Okay. So maybe you want to tell us a little bit more about what kind of process this is, so we all know what we're in for.
Sure, I'd love to. So what I would recommend to everybody is, if you have a paper and pen or journal with you and a glass of water, as I said earlier. So I'll give you what to expect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you through this process. So you're going to have your eyes closed, or you'll cast your gaze downward, whatever's comfortable. So you want to make sure that you are in a quiet space. You've got your phones turned to silent, turned off, even notifications turned off on the computer. And we're going to be using our imagination for a visualization. And so what I want to share with you today is one of the fun practices that I have. So the work that we do can be used for removing blocks, emotional blocks, navigating negative experiences. It can be used for connecting with goals. And all of this work contributes to your spiritual awakening. So this work is expanding your consciousness. And I love it because it's connecting you with yourself. Like, it's reintroducing you to your, that light I was talking about at the beginning. So for the practice today, what we're going to do is I want you to start thinking about a characteristic or a trait that you admire in somebody. So, when you think, for me, all the stuff I think about are speakers. So, I was thinking about one of my mentors today. And when he does a presentation, he is having fun. So he's just fun in his presentation. And so you're thinking of a role model that has something that you want, whether it's confidence, or they're successful in business, or, they're a fantastic friend, they're loyal, they have integrity. You're thinking of one specific thing that they have that you really admire. So it's not that you want to be exactly like them. You're not going to be awakening them in your person. You're awakening this part of them that you admire. And perhaps you've heard this already. When we admire things in others, it's because we admire that in ourselves. And there's a great saying that goes, if you spot it, you got it. So when you're attracted to something in someone else, it's because that is in you as well. And you love this about yourself, or you want to awaken this in yourself. And so that is the practice that we're going to be doing today. All right. So should we just dive right into it, Debbie? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Let's get to it. I'm excited.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. So what I want you to do is, like I said, choose a role model, an icon. It can be a person that's living or dead. It can be someone you know, someone you don't know. It can be a character in a book, even a character in a movie. So it can be fictional, or they can be real. And I want you to, so first to choose your role model. And then what we're going to need is for you to remember an experience when you saw them living this characteristic. So a time when maybe you saw a video of them, or you saw them in person, or you were reading this book or watching this movie, and this moment when you were witnessing them expressing this amazing characteristic. They were at the top of their game, and you were like, wow, that's amazing. I love this about that person. So go ahead and think about that, and perhaps make a note in your journal. All right. So the practice itself is a simple practice. So I'm going to give you the big picture of it, and then I'm going to give you an example, and then we're going to go ahead and do it together. Okay. So what the practice is, as I said, the saying goes, if you spot it, you got it. So that this is something that we're awakening in you. So what I'm going to have you do is we're going to be doing this visualization that I'll be guiding you through. So you don't have to memorize what I'm saying. I'm just giving you the big picture. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you feel yourself in this moment. And so you'll have your eyes closed, and you'll be feeling yourself. And so the way that our brain works is when we're having an experience, we've got 4 elements that are contributing to the experience, 4 ways that our brain organizes information. There's images, there's thoughts, so things you hear, when you hear stuff being said in your mind, your thoughts. There's your emotions, so happy, sad, joyous, admiration, whatever these emotions are that'll be coming up, and body sensations. So images, thoughts, emotions, and body sensations. So when you're imagining yourself, I'm going to have you feel into yourself. You're going to have your eyes closed. So you'll be feeling yourself in this moment, here and now, and noticing what arises for you. So what images might come up, what thoughts you hear, the emotion that you're feeling, the body sensation. And then I'm going to ask you to verbalize something. So you're all muted, so it's safe for you to say whatever comes up, and just share in the space something about what you're experiencing. And then I'm going to instruct you now to feel your role model. So in your imagination, you're going to be visualizing this role model, and they are, you're remembering a time when you saw them expressing this characteristic that you admire and that you want to awaken in yourself. So you'll see them at the top of their game, and noticing again, right, what you're seeing, the thoughts that are going through your mind, the emotions that you're experiencing as you're witnessing this person in their genius, in their moment of genius, in this characteristic, showing this and expressing it. Noticing the body sensation that comes up as you're witnessing them. So we'll be going back and forth. I'll be leading you between these. So you'll feel one, say something about it. You feel yourself, say something about it. Then I'll guide you to feel your role model and say something about that. So we'll go back and forth 3 times. And then I will ask you to feel them both simultaneously, feeling them as strongly as you can at the same time to the best of your ability. And then you'll breathe in through your nose and then exhale out your mouth. And you'll notice what's happening between them. I'll guide you to say that. And then you'll say something into the space about that. And so with this practice, what happens organically without us forcing anything is that eventually these 2 sides, you here and now, and this characteristic that you're awakening, They are two sides of the same one. And so over this exercise, they're going to meld. They're going to become the same. There'll be no difference between them. There'll be a merging that happens, whatever the words are for you. And so when you get to that place where they're all the same, there's no difference, then that's when we're going to complete the process. And I'll guide you through the steps for that. So it happens naturally. You don't need to force it. And it's, you're just relaxing into the practice and letting it unfold naturally, because that's the natural state. So there, I have said quite a bit. So let me check in and see if there are any questions before we get started. So we have an intimate group, so you can raise your hand if there's any questions. All right. Okay, it looks like everybody's ready. So everybody's got their role model. Yes, let's see our hands. See some interaction. Yay. Okay, great. You've all got your role model. Beautiful. Okay, so go ahead and get comfortable in your chair. And I want you to close your eyes or cast your gaze downward. So get comfortable, listen to your body if you need to do any movements before you settle into this. So just taking a few clearing breaths, breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. So breathing in and coming into this present moment. Yeah. Letting go of everything that came before this moment. On your exhale, you're letting go of anything that needs your attention after. And knowing that it's all going to be taken care of. So you can just relax and be here in this moment. And so I need you to give me your full presence and stay with this practice until the end. So are you all, let's see a show of hands, you're ready to stick with it? Beautiful, thank you so much. All right, so go ahead and close your eyes. And we're beginning now. So go ahead and feel you in this moment. Feel you here and now, noticing the images you see, the thoughts that go through your mind, whatever emotion arises, allowing any body sensations, noticing those. So feeling yourself here and now, fully and deeply, even magnifying what's happening. Feeling it as strongly and real as you can. And then go ahead and say something about it into the space. Excellent. You're doing great. And now feel your role model. Feel your icon. So in your imagination, you're seeing them at the top of their game, expressing this characteristic that you admire. So you're feeling them, noticing the images that go through your mind, the thoughts, noticing any emotion, any body sensations that arise, just feeling it all fully and deeply, magnifying what's going on for you. Yeah, you're doing great. And say something about that into the space. And it's important to verbalize it, so go ahead and say something. Excellent. All right. You're doing great. Breathe in and out. Now we're going to go back and feel you here and now. So feeling yourself fully and deeply, making it as real and strong as you can, noticing the images that arise, the thoughts, the emotions, body sensations, feeling you here and now as fully and deeply as you can. And say something about it into the space. Excellent, beautiful. Now feel your role model. So feel them fully and deeply. Noticing what you see, what you hear, the emotions and the body sensations. Your role model, feel them at the top of their game, and they're expressing this characteristic that you so admire. Yeah. And go ahead and say something about it into the space. Excellent. Great. So now set that aside and feel yourself here and now, fully and deeply. Magnify it. Make it as strong and real as you can. Feeling you here and now. And say something about it into the space. Excellent. Breathe in and out. You're doing great. Now feel your role model. Feel your icon. So feeling them fully and deeply. You're noticing what you see, what you hear, the emotions, the body sensations, the full experience. It's a 4D experience. Making that as strong and real as you can. And say something about it. Excellent. Wonderful. And now I want you to feel both at the same time. So feel yourself here and now. Feel your role model at the same time, feeling them as strongly as you can. Take a breath in through your nose. And then a slow exhale out your mouth. And notice what's happening between them. So feel what's going on here. And say something about that into the space. Terrific. All right, you're doing great. So now we're going to repeat this one more time, and it'll be a little bit quicker. So let go of that, breathe in and out. And now feel you here and now. So feeling yourself as strongly as you can, making it as real as possible, and saying something about you here and now. Wonderful. And now feel your role model. So feeling your role model as strongly as you can in your imagination, feeling them as making it as real as possible, even magnifying it in your imagination. And say something about them. Wonderful. So now feeling you here and now, feeling yourself as strongly as you can, noticing the images, thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, and even magnifying those in your imagination. You're doing great. Say something about that. So verbalize that. Say something into the space. Wonderful. And now feel your role model. So feel your role model. Experience everything that's arising, emotions, body sensations, images, thoughts. They're at the top of their game. Experience it fully and verbalize something from that. Say something into the space. Terrific. Breathe in and out. You're doing great. So one more time, feel you here and now. So feeling yourself as fully and deeply as you can. Noticing what you see, what you hear, the body sensations, the emotions. Magnifying that. And speak something into the space about you here and now. Lovely. Now, Feel your role model. Feel them at the top of their game. They're expressing fully this characteristic. So you're feeling them, noticing the images, the thoughts, feeling the emotion, the body sensation. So a 4D experience, magnifying it. And verbalize something about that. So say something into the space. Beautiful. You're doing great. And now feel them both at the same time. So feeling you here and now and feeling your role model as strongly as you can. So feeling them both at the same time, then breathing in through your nose. And exhaling out your mouth like you're blowing out a candle. And notice what's happening between them. So are they feeling like they're coming together? So raise your hand if they're starting to come together. Great, wonderful, great. All right, we're going to do one more round. You're doing fantastic. So again, it'll be a little bit quicker. So feeling you here and now. So magnifying that. And say something into the space. So verbalize something about you here and now. And now feel your role model. Feeling them as strongly as you can, magnifying them in your imagination. And say something into the space. Yeah. Beautiful. Now feeling yourself here and now. Magnifying that, feeling it as strongly as you can. Say something about that into the space. Beautiful. And now feel your role model. So feeling them as strongly as you can, making them as big and real as possible in your imagination. And verbalize something about your role model. Wonderful. Now feel you here and now. Experiencing you as fully as you can in this moment. And say something about you. Terrific. And feel your role model. So feeling your role model as strongly as you can, experiencing them fully. And say something about your role model. Beautiful. And now I want you to feel them both at the same time. So feeling yourself here and now, feeling your role model, feeling them both as strongly as you can, best as you can. Take a breath in. And then exhaling. And noticing what's happening between them. Have they come together? So say something about your experience into the space. And let me see a raise of hands. So who here, they've come together, they feel the same, there's no difference? Raise your hand. Okay, beautiful. So we're about 50-50. So we'll do one more quick round. So thank you so much. Stick with it. So feel yourself here and now. Say something about it. Wonderful. Now feel your role model as strongly as you can. And say something about it. Lovely. Feel you here and now. And say something about it. Okay, stick with it. Feel your role model. Feel them as strongly as you can. And stay with that. Say something about it. And one more time, feel you here and now. And say something out loud. Beautiful. Feel your role model. So experiencing them as strongly as you can, feel them. And say something about your role model. Wonderful. And now feel them both at the same time, you here and now and your role model. So feeling them as strongly as you can and breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And noticing what's happening between them. So feel what's happening between them. Have they come together? So hands up if they feel like there's no difference, like they've come together. Beautiful. So go ahead and relax into this feeling of them coming together. So breathe into this experience, how you're feeling in this moment. And name this experience. So what would you call this? A word to describe this for yourself. So say that into the space. Beautiful. So feel this feeling of yourself and imagine this feeling flowing infinitely in front of you. Feel this feeling of yourself and imagine it flowing infinitely behind you. Feel this feeling of yourself and imagine it floating infinitely to the left. So feeling this feeling of yourself flowing out of you infinitely to the right. Imagine this feeling is just cascading infinitely beneath you and infinitely above you. And now feel this feeling of yourself flowing out in all directions simultaneously. And just breathe here, experiencing this. Beautiful. So keeping your eyes closed, we're going to do a special type of breathing now. So I want you to imagine a beautiful ball of healing white light above your head. And when you breathe in, this beautiful white light comes in through the top of your head and into the center of your head, which is where your pineal gland is. So you're breathing this beautiful healing white light into the middle of your head. And as you exhale, this light is expanding in all directions. So on the exhale, the light expands in all directions. And when you inhale, the light contracts into the middle of your head. Exhale, light bursts in all directions, flowing. And then inhale, the light contracts into the middle of your head. And just continue breathing this way for a few moments. Beautiful. So now return to your regular breath. So just breathing normally. And when you're comfortable, you can slowly open your eyes. Yay. So welcome back. Well done. Well done. So I'd love to hear in the chat, what are you more conscious of after that practice, after that experience? What's a new awareness you have after that?
I think with me, it was just going over the inventory of things I admired about my idol.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then realizing that, and then this person can do that. And, this person does that as well. And just, admiring.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Excellent. Heather, I am one with this person. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for joining us. Deborah, feeling expanded and light, feeling integrated. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. Much more conscious of the physical state of calm and relaxation that my mentor takes when he is opening himself to other people. Beautiful. Being present in the moment. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, all of you. Thank you. And now I want you to think of an action that you can take to live this awareness in the next 24 hours. So what's a little something that you can do to live this new awareness in your life? And just make a note of that in your journal. It doesn't have to be huge, just one little thing to bring this new awareness into your daily life within the next 24 hours. So any little action. Yes, thank you, Heather. Human is of this person, a new word. Yes. Oh, I'm glad to hear you love and appreciate your person even more. Wonderful. Grounded. Yay. Thank you so much for all these beautiful shares. All right. Oh, did I read all of the shares? Feeling expanded and light. Yes. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for all of your energy. So how many of you found this beneficial? Let's see a raise of hands. Yay. Let's see the hand. Yes. Okay, good, good. So these are the kinds of like there is a wealth of practices on a year of joy. And so if you found this useful, this recording will be on that website. It's free to join. And I have the membership link is here in the chat. So you can join a year of joy. And let's tell a friend. So if this was useful to you, tell a friend about it. And let's spread the word about a year of joy. So you'll get to meet all kinds of different experts on this website. There'll be many different practices, books, resources. All of these are a gift to you and your loved ones that you share this with. So I would love to see this out in the world more, and you can all be joy ambassadors. Right, Debbie?
Absolutely, Heidi. Thank you. That was wonderful. I've had the luxury of having sessions with Heidi before, so I already knew we were in for a real treat. And oh my gosh, if you have a one-on-one with her, you're in for a huge treat. But I will tell you that just putting some of these practices into place as your day goes on, each and every day, if you can remember these little things, then they become, I would say, more organic. It just happens. Sort of like, you learn to brush your teeth and then you just automatically brush your teeth. Well, this is one of those things that when you learn to do this, it sort of opens you up for everything. So just a wonderful practice. And yes, it definitely brings me joy. And spreading it would be wonderful. We really are on a mission. Heidi's part of that mission. And I'm assuming if you're on this call, you're also want to be on that mission of making the world a little better and a little more joyful for ourselves and for everyone else. So it is a wonderful community. And we urge you to, if you haven't joined, to join. And as Heidi said, to spread it to others. It is free. It's a gift. There will never be an ask of any money. You get to participate as much or as little as you want. Take what works for you. I tend to, of course, gravitate to all of the weeks that make me smile even bigger. And of course, I probably should be doing the weeks that I'm a little nervous about. So
yeah, stretch is good to take a risk and do something that invites you to stretch, move out of your comfort zone, right?
Yes. I speak around the country, and we talk often about the research that's behind this. So as Kevin knows, because he's in an industry that I've been in for 45 years, we're insights and we're all research and data. So we are very attuned to information that backs up what we're talking about. We have used secondary research that already existed. We have done research collectively with Harvard Business Review, with Yale. We know that there's an actual science to building joy. And it's not this touchy-feely thing. It's an actual science. There is, a lot of data and a lot of thought papers and white papers on the importance of well-being and belonging. They are critical to us as human beings. And we don't necessarily pay a lot of attention to that. But we need to be physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually healthy. We need to belong to some forms of community, whether they be family or work or school or church or groups like this. As human beings, we are not meant to be alone. People that talk about being loners are just afraid. They don't realize the benefit of belonging. Belonging is huge. And in all our research, we found the most joyful people around the world, and this is scientific, this is with measurement tools, are people who want to make a positive impact on each other, on other people, on the planet. Those are the most joyful people. And I know I am a joyful person. I'm one of those lucky people that was born with a lot of DNA joy, and we are born with just so much joy, and the rest of it is in our control. And I choose to control how much joy I have, but I'm going to tell you there's never enough. It's one of those things that you always want more of. So I encourage you to build your joy muscle. I'm working really hard on it, and I like it so much better than building my abs. That ship has sailed. So I say, let's build the joy muscles. It doesn't matter about age.
Yeah, this is timeless. Joy is timeless.
Yes. So I encourage you to continue finding more ways to build your joy, whether on our community platform or others. And by all means, share what you know or what you have found. We are always looking for new experts to add to our a list of joy experts. And if you have someone in mind, please email me. We love feedback, just absolutely love it. And this is a platform for all of us. This is for each and every one of us. So, take advantage of sharing and spreading and giving us your insights. We all have them. We're all smart and we all have great ideas. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for giving us your energy and your time today. Be sure to take good care of yourself today. Drink lots of water. Nourish yourself with good food. Get out in nature. I invite you to do some journaling about your experience here today to help ground your insights, and you never know what else will come up. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. This was a great way to start. Thank you. And we'll see you on a year of joy.